What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, talking today about the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal because it is now officially done. It is completely finished as of about 10 minutes ago. Officially, Microsoft owns Call of Duty and World of Warcraft and Diablo and is now going to put it in their cabinet with all the other game studios they've bought, like Rare and Doom and freaking everything else like Skyrim. But I want to discuss this because in this instant fallout, it does feel like a lot of gamers are debating whether this deal is going to be good or bad in the long run. Let's discuss. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. But here, the instant thing that's just kind of crazy is to try and actually grasp the scope of this. Microsoft just purchased Activision Blizzard, King, the development studios that make stuff like Call of Duty, Overwatch, Diablo, Candy Crush, Crash Bandicoot, Guitar Hero, and much, much more. I mean, even Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I mean, the sheer size of this acquisition cannot be understated. And I'll be honest, I wasn't sure this deal would actually get done. When they initially announced this buyout in January of 2022, it seemed pretty open and shut. I mean, they said they were going to buy it for $69 billion. I thought they would just walk up with a briefcase full of cash and do it. But instead, this acquisition was slowed down by 20 months of regulator battles, both here in the United States with the FTC and obviously the CMA in the UK. For a lot of this year, I've said this in videos, I was actually pretty sure the deal would get blocked, or I was kind of assuming that because of these crazy long battles, I thought that maybe they would break it into chunks. I thought maybe that Microsoft would end up buying Call of Duty and leaving behind Blizzard. In fact, that was the main thing that was being talked about by lawyers in court. But they did manage to make some concessions and get this all done, which officially makes Microsoft the third largest gaming company in the world, right behind Tencent. Yay, Tencent. Don't we love the fact that some giant mega conglomerate is just buying up game studios? Okay, so let's talk about this because some people initially are very much celebrating. People are happy because in the short term, this is truly fantastic for Xbox Game Pass. The sheer amount of stuff that's about to get added to Game Pass is absolutely insane. And I'll be honest, I have Game Pass. I'm going to play the heck out of a lot of these. I'm going to enjoy the heck out of a lot of these. But I'm a little bit concerned about the long-term ramifications of it because we are talking about the consolidation wars. Bobby Kotick is still going to be in charge, and obviously he's a jerk, but people are talking about the fact that, is this a monopolization of the industry? Microsoft has literally trillions of dollars, and they've talked about having so much money. Microsoft has also admitted that they are not profitable. Xbox has pretty much never really been in the green. They're always losing money. They're just buying studios because they're hoping that eventually it makes money. And the reason that makes me nervous is because as big as Call of Duty is, as big as World of Warcraft and Diablo are and stuff like that, I am concerned that their size, their unwieldiness of these studios are what are going to cause Microsoft to possibly start doing mass firings. Now, I'm recording this on Friday the 13th in October. I'm just time stamping this because I'm 99.9% sure this is going to happen next year. So consider this my crystal ball moment. These companies typically end up buying studios and then firing a bunch of people. Epic Games just did it, obviously, laying off a bunch of people at Mediatronic, firing everybody who made Fall Guys. I mean, this stuff happens constantly. In fact, even Embracer Group did this. Embracer Group bought tons and tons of stuff like Tomb Raider and Perfect Dark. They bought every studio they possibly could. And then after it, they closed most of them, canceling games in development, laying off staff because they messed up a $2 billion deal. Now, this is not me attacking Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard is doing their best. I think Activision Blizzard, despite their faults, is trying to make good games. I'm also not saying that Microsoft sucks or is dumb. I'm saying that companies like this, when you start getting out flow charts this massive, a lot of times it starts to end up looking like too much bloat. Companies like this acquire stuff because the brands are valuable and not the people. Now, obviously, you and I are gamers. We don't care about flowcharts. We don't care about profitability margins. We want good games. I'm afraid that when big companies buy stuff out, in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, if it's not instantly turning in a good amount of profit, they start to trim the fat and fire the heck out of the real human people making games. That's kind of my concern when it comes to consolidation. It's not about a lack of competition. It's not about, oh, they have exclusives that won't be on my PC or my PlayStation or my Nintendo Switch. My thought is that I do think that this is going to lead to firings. Microsoft has already done a big set of firings last year when they fired a bunch of people working on Halo, and they even fired some testers for Starfield and stuff like that. This company is just so many thousands and thousands of employees that even when they fire 5%, that's hundreds of people that are working on games getting laid off. But okay, even beyond that, here is the reason I'm still not exactly super thrilled about this. It's not even directly because of the Microsoft deal. It's because now I think it's showing other companies that you can just buy a chunk of the game industry. In fact, Disney is kicking around the idea of buying Electronic Arts, which very obviously most people are not thrilled about. Disney sucks. Even if you love the MCU, even if you love Star Wars and stuff like that, look at their general output. Disney will kill a franchise to make extra profit. Right now, Disney is putting out 3 TV shows, 5 different movies, pretty much every single year, and a lot of them just bomb. I mean, they're churning out so many movies back to back to back to completely drown their brands. My thought is that if freaking Disney buys Electronic Arts, they're going to do that as well because they don't understand content release schedules. A company like Disney is not able to understand the fact that we enjoy great games with good polish, good scope, good pricing, but they need a chance to breathe. Hype a game up, release it, move on, start working on the next thing, plan it as a trilogy. I guess my thought is I do kind of agree here with Ryan McCaffrey. This would be awful for gamers because we basically lived this reality from the last 10 years when there was that 10-year exclusivity window for Star Wars games. There was almost as many canceled games as released. Disney's current model of licensing its IP to great devs everywhere is the way. And of course, a lot of people are saying like, oh, okay, well, so you like Xbox just buying up studios, but you don't like Disney buying up studios. Literally every reply is just about how, obviously these big outside studios just buying everything up. A lot of Xbox people love it when Microsoft buys everything. In fact, I'm sure there's a lot of comments on this video of people happy that Microsoft is just buying up every studio they possibly can. But I think I'm in a spot where I'm concerned about what this means in 10 years, but in the short term, what can you do? I'm trying to just guess from my own limited acumen. I hope I'm wrong. In fact, if I am wrong, I'm going to have a freaking party. I would love to be wrong. I hope that everybody keeps their job. I hope that, honestly, Bobby Kotick is about to leave his position here next year. And when he's gone, I hope this means that we get better expansions for World of Warcraft, better content in Diablo. Obviously, I'm a Diablo fanatic with my big-ass necromancer tattoo. I have concerns. And I think those concerns are well-founded, but I guess we're going to see. This is a messy situation. I'm glad the deal is done because honestly, talking about a business merger for 20 months was kind of exhausting at times because, let's face it, I'm about as intelligent as a ham sandwich, but I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. What do you think about the Activision Blizzard deal? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And please, if you could, give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Sometimes I just think about the fact that it's weird that in the 90s, everybody just made games. It's weird to think that Square Enix just churned out a Final Fantasy every year for years. Microsoft was making games back to back to back. Halo 1, Halo 2, Drive, what was that called? I don't know. We used to have people making games as quick as they possibly could, and now everything's so expensive. I don't know. Feels weird.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.